Hey,
Good
Jim.
morning.
How are you?
I am super. How are you?
All right. Where'd you get that fancy looking mic?
That's, just one of the toys.
I know it's a beer can that you painted.
It
I
is.
can see it.
It is.
How long is this going to take?
I figure about 3 hours we'll be able to wrap it up.
Oh, that's great, Jim. You're going to be here by yourself.
How about 30-esque minutes?
Esque. I like the esque. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
Will
right.
do.
We're all about the esque. See who's ringing. There they are.
Okay, so go help your father.
Can we talk about your name on the bottom of your Tracy?
I didn't do that. I don't know where that came from. It's on every Zoom call I'm
That's
ever on.
fantastic.
How does get rid of that?
You don't. You're stuck.
I think what you do is you spell your name correctly the
I
first
didn't do that. I don't know who did that.
So he's coming to sit with you, Mom.
Oh, great. All right, pull up a chair.
He can come sit with me.
You can go down with Jim.
How great. Look, there's space.
By him to speak.
Oh my
Mom, do
God.
you have your light on?
Want me to put a light on?
Yes.
Yeah, you need
Is
to
that better?
illuminate.
There
need
you
to
go.
illuminate that guy.
Okay, help you. All right, I'm out.
Where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going, Tracy?
I don't know where that's from.
You're muted again, Mom.
No,
Nah,
I'm
it's-
not with it.
Oh,
yeah,
no, I guess
the
you're just bad at it.
the beauty of internet. Hi guys. Good morning.
How are you? Good morning.
Everybody
Yeah.
got their coffee? Because
Yeah.
you know what this show's called. Java with Jim.
I drank it already. And where's the donut, for God's sake?
The donuts are still in. Otherwise, I'd have run them up.
I see.
Try to smile, Trace.
I don't smile.
Oh boy.
Hold on. Let's see if we can get some smile-worthy material. How about this one? Oh, you got to be. Look, that fits perfectly.
Oh my God.
Is that great? I get to steal his hat.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice.
And now he's on microphone. What do you think, Steve?
It's great. It's wonderful.
I was just
Happy
cold.
4th of July.
Still one of my
Oh.
favorite pictures I've taken of you.
This is tremendous. There it is. That's what you guys make happen. So hold on. Let's get us rolling. You're allowed to dance, Steve. Feel free. There it is. Java with Jim with the Foedisch family because they are superstars. Absolutely superstars. Guys, thanks so much. This is truly, truly fun. You guys are my favorite family in Riverton whose name rhymes with Foedisch.
You're funny. You're funny.
Yes. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, the relevance of getting a chance to chat with you guys right now with COVID and postponing events and moving them around, and you guys certainly being centerpiece for much of the effort that happens for the 4th of July. So I'd love to chat with you about all that. Maybe there's some message as well you'd like to get out. And comb the citizens of Riverton who've just inundated me with questions. And I even forward some of them to you. The more hard-hitting questions about Steve's jealousy of my haircut and,
That's right.
Steve,
That goes without saying.
you're not alone, Steve. You're not alone.
Thanks. Good.
First of all, how are you guys all getting along? Not, interpersonally, but
Face.
as long as Steve stays in his room, we're all fine.
yeah.
There's still 4 of us. We're doing fine. We just haven't really been leaving.
We just want you guys to be safe. That's what we want. You know what? The question I wanted to start with was, how did you guys get involved and even kind of as a family for the 4th of July festivities here in Riverton?
You want to take that one, Mom?
Sure. So, for a brief period of time, we lived in Burlington City. 4th of
See,
July.
that face is because I love your answer, but your audio sounds a little yucky. Maybe
And,
just
okay.
scoot up just a skosh.
Okay. Should I start over?
Yes, please.
All right. So for a long time ago, Steve and I lived in Riverton City after we were first married. And after Casey was born, we came back here because we wanted Casey to go to Riverton School. Dana wasn't even thought of yet. And when I happened to say to Sue Bauer, oh, I wouldn't mind helping with the parade. And she was very involved. I think Suzanne was the person at that point in time. And I went to the first meeting and I wasn't helping with the parade, I was running it. That's how they did that back then. So I was taken aback and I almost said, oh, I can't do that, but I did. And I ran the parade for a long time. And Casey, before Dana was born, used to sit on the stone wall across from the yacht club and watch me run the parade. And then, you know, it's just we live closely, and all of a sudden everybody was involved. It's very difficult not to get involved. So,
Is it so that Casey at that time when she was sitting on the wall was even more helpful than Steve is now?
That's funny, Jim.
Is that
Rude. But true.
it was a question. It was a question from a resident, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm only,
Which resident?
yeah,
I can't. So from the earliest days, you guys dove in as a family and just took the baton and ran with it. I was going through the list of, excuse me, those that make it happen. And that's an extensive list as well. And it's so diverse, you know, I even noticed that Pat Van Burnham is also part of now the social media for it. So
Pat's popping in this year. We're trying to get some new blood on the committee.
Tremendous. I know there was a piece that stood out as I was looking through the history, things that I'm sure just could not happen even if we wanted to. There was professional diving.
Yeah. When I was writing the about piece for the website, I reached out to John McCormick at the Historical Society.
Okay.
And he sent me all these awesome old news clippings of the different 4th of July things that used to happen in the town. I mean, they had like Olympic diving, they had an air show, all sorts of stuff.
Hot air balloon.
Oh, yeah, very cool. Not probably doable right now.
And I'd like to see the Barclay group write the rider for the 10-mile swim to Philadelphia.
Gosh, I can't believe they did that.
So we had 100 contestants sign up, and there are 83 of them that came back. So
They were picked up by a boat.
For sure. There's the picture, of course, that's behind me now. That is the banner from your Facebook page. You do such a tremendous job with taking the pictures, and I know they're not all from you guys, but they're again another town effort where folks take their pictures and they love sending them to you, and you post them and share them, and they become so central to the wonderfulness, I think.
For sure. I mean, you've sent us pictures. We have a committee photographer. Our parade marshal this year is Bennett Landsman, our older previous parade photographer. He was the first one ever official as our photographer for the committee. Yeah. So he got us rolling on that. And since then, we've had tons of people take pictures and send them in. And we've got a lot of really nice content.
They are, and what you do is truly fabric for the Riverton story, the Riverton existence, the Riverton uniqueness. If you would, I know it had to take, and you mentioned that in your post, that it took tons of deliberation. It was not a decision that you guys came upon lightly, but can you share the current status and plan for the July 4th activities for 2020, the year of the COVID?
Yes. So the 4th of July committee postponed the decisions that we've just recently made.
Tracy, I'm getting you a microphone for Christmas.
Do you want to come in here, Ma? The audio is terrible on your computer.
Is this better? I'm going to go in the other room, all right?
Okay.
That's a better idea.
Dad, you can stay in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think I saw Steve's thumb over the microphone so that he could get the camera all to himself.
We could hear
I
you,
did not
Dad.
do that. I did
Yeah,
not do
guys, you're
that.
coming through fun.
That's because I know how to use this computer a little
Come
better.
on in, Mom.
Come on in, pull up a chair.
Steve, I love that jacket. Is there any relevance to that jacket?
That was my cocktail party outfit last year, but you weren't there, so you didn't see it.
Oh,
I also have a tie and shorts that match. It's perfect. 4th of
a
July,
whole
that's what we do.
Oh, 4th of July themed. I thought that was just your smoking jacket you wore around the
No,
house.
no. That's my Thursday jacket. It's a different one.
So let's serious it up, Steve, a little bit. We were talking about the challenges of making a tough decision for this 4th of July. Now, behave.
All right, so the committee was very reluctant to make these big decisions. We postponed them as long as possible. We hemmed and hawed, but in the end, we decided that for the safety of everyone, that we could not proceed, as well as for the mental health of the committee, because it was very stressful to think we're doing it, think we're not doing it. So it was the best decision for everybody to basically cancel all of our events. We're starting some new virtual events, and we also are trying to maintain the 5K run individually, not as a group, virtual run. So, and the new events we've started for this year are things like the townwide picnic at 4 o'clock. If we could all go out in our driveways or all go out in our lawns and picnic separately but together, we thought that would be kind of a community statement about how we still want to be together. And we're doing the pet pageant virtually. You deck your pet out in whatever your pet gets decked out in and take pictures and send them in. And we have a group of judges. The pet pageant is run by Kathy Simon with the support of the Riverton Free Library. So don't take your pets to the park. Leave your turtle at home. Just take pictures and send them in. All the directions will be in the ad booklet that's coming out soon, as well as on the website and Facebook.
I'm glad that's still intact. The sponsor book. I'm sure there's a realistic financial element to everything you guys do, and maybe there's an ability to float this year into next year or other events. And I know folks are most likely only too happy to give and support. So,
I think the support from our sponsors has been phenomenal.
Oh my God.
We were pretty transparent with them once things were canceled. We got in contact with them and said, hey, look, the events are basically canceled, but the ad booklet's going forward, and without their support, certainly it does help us for next year, but they're just phenomenal. People really stepped up. We had additional sponsors jump up in their category, so they really are supporting the town, and it's awesome.
Well, not just the sponsors, Steve, but our patrons and our business advertisers have all been really generous. And I really thought we'd have an off year. We didn't get as many donations as we have in years past, but it's still quite a showing, so that we are able to do the run, and we'll come in ahead next year and start a little stronger probably. We missed a couple events that I forgot to mention that we're hosting this year as well. So can I ask Dana to talk about them?
Yes, and in fact, because you guys are my favorites and I already know your names, I did jump over the fact that I just skipped right by the introduction. So the handsome man with the goatee, that's Jim Quinn. I mean, that's Steve Foedisch.
You wish it were.
And the lovely Tracy Foedisch right there in the center with the troubled microphone at times. And then Casey with the photograph chin. I like it. Perfect. Perfect. That's Casey. And then Dana. How are you, Dana?
Good.
Perfect. No. So one of the questions too, plural of Foedisches. Is it Foedi? Is it Foedii?
Foedi is popular.
Foedi.
We get that
Okay.
one. We accept
I'll
that.
put that in all the materials.
I never sign. When you sign like Christmas cards and you'd say like the Quins or
Right.
whatever. We don't do that. We write the Foedisch family, and I think
know.
it's because we all just don't know how to pluralize our name.
That's a real concern. Dana, I interrupted.
So only a few other like virtual events that we're having. We still are running the house decorating pretty much as it always runs.
Around the same time as well?
Yeah, so same time frame for house decorating, and all the like details will be in the booklet, but the only differences really is our prizes are going to be supporting local businesses instead of just a monetary prize, so that we can give back to the businesses who always support us. So the house decorating, and then is there anything I'm missing?
Fourth fashion.
Yes, go ahead.
Fourth fashion is something we've done for a while, just virtually. I think Courtney Lippincott came up with it a couple years ago.
Fourth Fest. Is that what you called it? Fourth Fest?
Oh, we'll get to Fourth Fest. This is Fourth Fashion. So
Fourth
on
Fashion.
4th of July, you'll post
Sorry,
your
I didn't mean
wild outfit, like my dad.
Like.
You would post it on Instagram, or you would send it to us on Facebook, and you would use the hashtag RVT Fourth Fashion. Yep. I use him regularly in our social media for that advertisement. But yeah, all you have to do is post a picture of you, your family, you know, whatever, in your favorite 4th of July outfit on the 4th.
There's also the
Uh-oh.
thing you're making.
Yes,
It's not video, but
we're
it's
also making kind of a picture montage of people's favorite memories from past 4th of Julys. And it's, even though we can't be together, we can still share some of our favorite memories. So people are going to be able to send those to our Instagram, our Facebook, or they can send it to our social media email, and all the details for those, the handles, the, you know, the username, that's all in the booklet that's coming out.
Okay.
So people can send in their favorite memories, and we'll be putting them together. I think the last date to send them in is June 30th. We're trying to have it up there, hopefully by July 4th, so that we can kind of see that on the day of.
this year, Jim, the run is still going to be on the same course. We're just not encouraging everybody to run at the same time. So there'll still be runners coming past your house for almost the week preceding the 4th. No running on the 4th, but we're using the same course. We're giving gift cards to local business. We're giving kudos to the runners online.
Crisp high five.
Yeah, crisp high five. But it is the same course. It's just without the big group coming by. So if you put your hose out, your water bill's going to be really high.
Maybe I'll try to put it on a timer. So
yeah, there you go.
Are you suggesting that over a course of multiple days, you'll somehow pick groups of runners, or they're just going to all run and be timed?
It's a virtual run this year. So there's a time window in which you can complete the course. And then you have to submit your time through Run Sign Up, which is the platform that we use for registration. So you'd still pay to enter and get your t-shirt. We'll just mail your t-shirt to you this time. And then you submit your time. And are we doing awards, or are we just crisp high five for
no
age
awards
categories?
this year. We just
Did you say a crisp high five?
Yeah.
That's it.
Virtual.
Virtual high five. Yeah.
There it is. Good job.
Well, you
So
can
then-
squirt them with a hose.
I'll text you when I'm running by. This is the first year I'm ever going to be able to do it. Probably the last too. 'Cause it's kind of
Okay.
crosses the parade.
The care, the interest, the thought that you guys put into all of this is so
It's
evident.
not just us.
Well, let me just jump in there and interrupt you. Can you hear me?
I
Yeah,
can.
you're on my computer. The audio is great here. So I don't want us to take credit for the run. I think John Laverty deserves a lot of credit because I was ready to just cancel everything. And
Okay.
John really believes that run is important. He's a runner. Everybody sees him around town.
Yes.
And he wanted to make sure it happened. So he presented multiple different proposals to the committee, and the committee finally said, hey, this is doable, and let's go for it. And it's only because of John's tenacity that we have that run this year.
That's great. It's obvious that the primary driver to your decisions was the health and safety of our residents and anyone who would decide to visit. And maybe there won't be folks who decide to visit, but still it's about the safety of all of us. So thank you for all that. And I do understand. And while you guys as a family are central to the events and the activities, I know that it is a gigantic undertaking. In fact, I bet if you had a second, just rattle off some of the activities behind the scenes that have to happen, and what your ramp up is, because I bet you are collecting hay bales at the end of the downhill and starting to prep for next year's activities. It feels like you work
Feels
on it
that
for
way.
that long.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jim. When we're collecting hay bales, I've usually had 1 or 2 gin and tonics, so I'm not really thinking about next year.
I'm collecting the hay bales. She's kicking up by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and this guy over here, this guy
Matt.
is
Yeah.
that's I would say the majority of the faces that come to that downhill race are not folks who live in Riverton.
There's a lot of people there.
So to see the distances that people travel because of the Riverton July 4th activities, is so telling of the wonderful efforts that everybody puts into this event.
We get messages on Facebook and Instagram relatively frequently of people like, oh, we're so bummed it's not happening this year. You know, we always come up from North Carolina, or, you know, people who moved away and they always come back for, you know, the one specific event that they remember doing with their family as kids. It's pretty cool.
We're going to miss that guy who does the downhill emceeing.
Oh, that's a lot of messages.
thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we've heard.
The origin of the downhill is kind of interesting. You pointed to Matt Zaneski's back.
Yes.
And Matt Zaneski runs the downhill race, and that's his back, yes.
His back.
He runs the race, which is called the Joe Zaneski race, and that was his dad.
Right.
And his dad, together with a man by the name of Bob Barron, who lived on Elm Terrace, a lot of people might remember him, started the downhill race one year, and we named it after Matt's dad, and Matt's running it now, and he hopes to make it a legacy thing where his kids will run it as well in the future. We're waiting.
Yeah, well, his son was.
Got a few years. A few years on that
A
one.
little.
How about his son doing some of the MC work last
Oh, yeah,
year?
that was cute.
His little teeny voice was tremendous.
He's gunning for your job, Jim.
Watch out.
I could still take him, maybe just one more year, and then I'm in trouble.
I don't know, he's cuter.
Easily, hands down. I got him beat only on facial hair, but not total head covering. Let's see. Do you guys have any favorites?
I mean, I really loved the addition of the concert. When we first started it, I got to be in it, like one of the first, I think it was the first one.
Yeah.
I sang with Heidi Winsinger and a few of her friends, super talented, so I got to kind of pop in there. So I really liked that experience, and I've loved hearing a lot of our local bands come in and play. And we can relax a little at that event. It's not as go. So it's pretty fun. I like that. And seeing all the kids running around, people dancing, I think that one's one of my favorites.
I like the part of the concert where, again, the time of year, it's July, it's pretty warm. You can watch the chairs in the field track with the shade for the day. Oh, let me scoot back. Sun moved a little bit. Yeah. It's such a comfortable, enjoyable, again, family centric, and the talents. You could have an expectation that you would come to a town event and you'd be like, oh, that's thanks, for the effort, everybody. But it is a truly professional event. Where folks they're up singing and dancing and just enjoying themselves. It's tremendous. All right, who's next?
Would you like some history for the concert?
Of course.
Okay.
History on
Let's
everything
get the
today.
appropriate. All right. Well, I don't have.
Currently, the concert's run by Sarah Calhoun Licata. No, that's Steve Foedisch. He's the man about town. He helps with everything. But Sarah Licata is currently running the concert. But originally, when we conceived of the idea, I met with the Circle of Friends team, Kathy Simon and Geneva Di Toronto. And they helped us get it off the ground because I knew very little about music. The best I could do was a DJ from a wedding, Yick. So they really helped us get it going. And then Geneva de Toronto stayed involved and really taught us how to do this and how to get the right sound guy. And she has mentored myself and Sarah, and now Sarah's doing it. So we had a very good slate of bands this year, and they have agreed to come next year. So we're all set for next year. That's one of the beauties of this. We're all planned out.
Wow. If you want, maybe during the concert, maybe if you want me to FaceTime me singing something, Steve, your head's going in the wrong direction.
No way.
That's
No.
Or, or.
Remember, we're trying to protect the town here, so no. We don't need
All right. Fair. All right. Who's next?
I think I would be in trouble if I didn't say the parade. I mean,
we're all about honesty here on
I
Java
love
with Jim.
the parade. I don't think I've gotten to ever watch the parade.
Yeah.
Like ever?
You have when you were a child.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I've been in it when I was a kid, and then I was volunteering when you were in charge of it, and then when Suzanne was running it day of. And now Suzanne does the pre-planning. She calls all the bands and organizes everything. And then I do the day of so that she can walk in the parade and then be with her kids and watch afterwards. So I don't think I've ever watched one, but boy, do I love that stinking thing.
Yeah. How many folks who walk in the parade, different organizations, are repeat from year to year to year?
A ton.
Yeah.
A ton. We do get new, in the last couple of years, we've gotten some new walking groups in different organizations, but I mean, you can pretty much consistently plan. When I make out like my outline every year of who I'm kind of expecting to be there, they're pretty much all there. Every now and then we'll get to the end of the day and Dana and I will go, oh, we didn't see, so-and-so, but
yeah,
that could very well be because it's all a bit of a blur.
Yeah, that could be as well. So the folks that are typical are what? School bands and fire departments?
We actually don't get school bands anymore. It's kind of a bummer. We used to get, I think, some high school and Palmyra, but a small contingent of Palmyra marched 2 years ago, I think it was. And so it's lovely when we get them, but we actually have had a shrinking amount of music, unfortunately, because a lot of the bands that we used previously were older, and a lot of those people are just no longer meeting to play music together.
So this is the year of the make phone calls. We're going to get them spun
If you
back
know
up.
anybody, if anybody listening knows anybody,
that's what we're going to do. We're going to spread the word. Spread the
Yeah,
word.
We do get our consistent.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
always have the bands that we've gotten the past few years have been consistent bands. That
Same
have been
bands
coming
forever.
for years and years.
Yeah.
So we do have the music.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they are like consistent, loyal. They're always there.
Yeah.
More
Got the
music
str-
is better.
We've got the
Yeah.
string bands. I don't know how they must have little air conditioning units underneath those costumes. I don't know how they make it to the end.
Last year they didn't, because last year it was so stinking hot. I thought we were all going to die.
Well, we can't have that for
I
sure.
was ready to jump in the river.
That's what makes the raft race maybe the portion.
Yeah.
Oh, the only place to be during the raft race is on
in
a
the river.
raft.
Yep.
Yeah. Steve.
Well, my favorite is the downhill race, 100%, because I like seeing the kids' faces. Most of the people are there for the crashes, and we try not to have them. But it's a lot of fun.
I said honesty, but not that much honesty, Steve.
Come on, now.
Well, it's our job is to make sure there's none of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All those hay bales in that picture.
The hay bales. That's right. The hay bales, and all of it has been a progression. So years ago, I remember the street line with folks, and there was our chief of police with a bullhorn to say, "Hey, folks, let's back up." And I think part of my inclusion was, hey guys, maybe we could add some kind of feature with somebody with a microphone to almost fill in the gaps, because while it's a super exciting event when someone's coming down the hill, there's a little bit of setup. You got to set the person up when the person passes the finish line. You got to get them out of the way. So in those dead spots, it seemed appropriate to kind of have somebody yapping meaninglessly, and I could do that tremendously. One of my one of my talents is to say a whole lot, and it's actually meaning nothing. But that and
Oh, can I have that in writing?
yeah, it'll be a recording. But truly, I think my favorite portion of the downhill, as what it's morphed into, is the fact that we have a speed sign that sits above all of the racers, and it's not
that's
a
great.
speed trailer anymore. Because
It's not a target.
yeah, it's the goal is for safety, and that's the
100%.
priority for everyone. And now the racers can go past the finish line, and if they get themselves where they're a little nervous and they don't apply the brakes and they roll a little further than maybe they wanted to, they're still all fine, and they pass right underneath. It's such a well done event, and watching the kids' involvement and fun.
Those hay bales are relatively new, so that children don't hit the crowd, and the crowd is safe and the kids are safe. Hay bales absorb a lot of impact, and it's a better spot. And the hanging sign is so much better than the sign that they aimed right towards. And there's safety features that the wheel size and the necessity of a brake and the seat belts
and the helmet.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know they had to have seatbelts.
Yeah, and this year last year, I guess we started a trail off where the cars would be taken right off into the Augustine's yard, so that nobody was in the way when the next car came. And we have really worked hard to tune this up so this can still be a fun event and be safe for our kids and our town.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. I know what's not shown in this picture behind me, just because at the starting line, there's not a need for the fence, but there's also fencing that goes the length of the course. So that keeps all the spectators at a safe distance. So it's the fence on the curb line, then in the street is the hay bales, and then it's just fun all in the middle. It's great stuff.
Jim, I think we'd be remiss not to mention, there is a slew of people who help, all the way from the people who send in money to support the parade, the businesses, the sponsors. But we're remiss if we don't mention Public Works.
Oh, God.
They're on all day, and I'm not even sure most of those guys are from town. Keith Adams is,
superstar.
Yes, and they're even there to help clean up the hay, and they're there to clean up the park at the end of the day, and they set the park up, and that's a holiday for them too, and yet they're working. And then of course the police are on the whole day. Chief Shaw, thank God he rides a bike, because he's all over the place, and he has to take calls from me all day long. Hey, this is happening, that is happening, and he still answers when I call. I'm always surprised. It's really important to mention them, even though they're employees of the town. These guys go above and beyond, and really the police finesse what happens all day long. So we never have a problem, and it's really I'm really thankful for those two groups. Additionally, I want to mention, I can't name everybody on the committee, but the committee is quite large, and I don't have it memorized. But every person on that committee has a job, and every person gets that job done. And I really have very little to do as chairperson. That's why I micromanage sometimes, because I'm bored. This is truly a townwide effort. It's not a Foedisch effort. It's not one particular person. Everybody kicks in, and the crowd kicks in. The townspeople kick in when they show up to all this stuff. And that's really the beauty of what's happening here, is that it's so well received, and people, you can just see how much people are enjoying it, every aspect of it. So that's where I get my gratification, and that's when I know that it's a job well done.
Wow. It's tremendous.
Wow.
There's nothing to add. There's nothing to add. There's nothing to add. I'd love to echo your sentiments, Keith and his team, all of the emergency, John Shaw, all his crew. There's the EMS folks you see standing by. And luckily most of the time they're just bored right there because you guys and the folks that you all work with do such a wonderful job that there's seldom any issues that arise. I'm tickled that you guys would spend some time with me sharing your thoughts. Any parting messages for the folks out there who might get a chance to view this?
I mean, definitely keep an eye on our social media because we're trying to keep everybody active and involved, even if we can't have 4th of July in the way that we're used to.
And we'll be back next year stronger than ever.
Yes.
Love it. That's where we're going to end on that note. Perfect, positive. And Steve, love the jacket as always.
Thanks.
You're always a standard, a bar to be reached, to be striven for.
Okay.
Not bad. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Be safe. We'll see you soon in person when we're allowed to interact again. All right, guys. Thanks
Thanks,
all.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.